Hello and welcome to Audrey the Icon Adventures. I'm Connie.
And I'm Daryl.
And this is Audrey the Icon.
G'day everybody. This video is going to be all about doing a basic comparison between Rocky, our Super Duty, and a 24 model Wildtrak that's had some modifications done to it. I'm here with my mate Cole. He'll be ducking in and out of the video to help talk about what he's done to his ute. We're just going to do a basic comparison because I'm interested to know in the flesh what's the difference between a Super Duty and a Wildtrak. So let's get into the basics, shall we? We're using a wide angle lens here, so things might look bigger or smaller than they actually are. I'll move to the front and square off on them. Now, if Cole had bought a white one, it would have been really good. You'd see easier. Anyway, you can see that the dark coloured Wildtrak is physically just a little bit smaller as you'd expect. It's got a 90mm narrower track if I recall correctly. All right. Now, you can see, I'll go over the Wildtrak first. So you see it's got the ARB bar on it, recovery points. It's got some steadies on board and got his antenna. He's still on standard wheels. He has put a larger size tyre on board. They are Cole, what's the size of the tyre on board, mate?
265/70 R18.
Okay, so that took it from, we were just talking about this, took us from just a little bit over 31 inch to about 32.5-ish inch, roughly,
Yep.
in the old school.
That's about it, 32.8, yeah.
Yep, so a bit under 33 inch, so get a bit of lift there. And then it's got about a 50mm ARB lift in the suspension.
Correct.
In the front especially, and then the rear, it could be a little higher until you put a little load in there.
Yeah, and I've got the airbags inflated at the moment too for towing the caravan, so the back's sitting up a little bit higher than standard.
All right, because usually you just run around with only a few pound in the bags,
Correct.
don't you?
Yep.
All right, so we'll just keep going around. What else have we got on that's not quite standard on here?
The mirrors are got the towing mirrors on at the moment, so they're extended.
I'll just slide in there so they're a little easier to see, being that they're black. What's the brand of those, do you recall?
Something Zap something.
Yeah, it doesn't say on the front.
Yep.
Anyway, I know a couple of people are using them on these next gens, and they seem to be happy with them. Then you got your Rhino rack up on top. Because those roof rails, they're standard on the Wildtrak, aren't they?
Yep.
Yep, okay. Okay, just wandering around the back here. You can see that, it's a bit hard for me to see on the camera because I've got a lot of glare here. Down there to the left of the hitch, you can see the air inlets for the airbags. And then there's an Anderson there as well for charging the trailer while he's wandering along the tracks. Got the UHF antenna mounted back here just next to the roller shutter. Other than that, on the exterior of the vehicle, all the rest is just standard. Fuel economy has gone down a little bit by having the larger tyres, yet just doing a highway run without towing still rocks along in the mid to low 10s comfortably, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yep, that's great. All right, so if we slide over to Rocky here, at the back, I haven't modified anything down low yet. I haven't had time to put the Anderson through. You can see our boxes in the back. You can see the battery that I've got mounted up there in the back. All of that center section is got more modifications on the way. What do we got here? You can see that I've attacked the sideboards with a drop saw. That way we've got nice easy access into the cupboards whenever we want. We have the, at the time, freebie, if anything's a freebie, 25 litre water tank with the soap dispenser. We put it on the passenger side. We figured that was a safer side of the vehicle to have it if you need to use it. I've got to show everybody the AdBlue. I love talking about the AdBlue, Cole, because so many people out there, oh, AdBlue's so bad. And I really, really wish they didn't say that because it's just not true. We had AdBlue and Eddie the Everest for 9.5 years and 197,000 kilometres, and never did I have to pull over on the side of the road broken down because of AdBlue. I'm very happy. I've put a couple of spotlights on the standard steel bumper. I think at the time of doing that, I may have been maybe the first person to do it. There is a special bracket you can get from Ford, I don't know if it's available yet, to allow you to put them on and not have to make the modifications I did. At the same time, I needed them in a hurry, so they're on there now. What have we got up this side? Up this side, we've got the storage box up the back, and in that's where we keep our compressor. So on the outside, Cole's not running a snorkel, whereas Rocky came with the snorkel standard. It is a no-cost option to not have the snorkel. What's the colour of your car, do you remember?
Meteor grey.
Meteor grey, okay, and we got the, I'm going to just call it the boring old governmental white colour. I'm sure they'd have a proper name for it other than maybe just white. Anyway, we went white for a reason, and you'll see that reason over the next couple of months as things take shape. Both the cars have got all the electronics in the front, parking sensors, radars, etc. And oh, what a joy they are to have. They'd make life so good. All right, so here we are looking in through the Wildtrak. You can see the nice pretty finish on the dash with the, are we going to call it an orange stripe for the Wildtrak? All the stitching?
Yeah.
I think it is orange, isn't it? I don't want to call it orange and then somebody gets on there and goes, it's a blah blah tangerine or something or other. I think they actually just call it orange stitching.
Yeah.
It seems to have been a Wildtrak thing even from back in the PX2/3 days, somewhere around there. Okay. I remember having that. Anyway, so if we look in here, this is leather seats. I'll just come around here. Might be a little, it's hard for me to tell how good it looks on the screen because I'm out in the sunshine. When we get it on the TV, it might look vastly different. You can see Cole's got his UHF handpiece mounted up high there, just above the wiper stalk. He's got his TPMS there that he uses for the trailer. That's mounted up on top of the console. It has the 12-inch center screen, has the, let's see what happens here. Yep, there we go. Oh, no key detected, and it's going to do that. All right, not going to show me anything. It's got the 8-inch screen, if I remember correctly. I think it was only the Raptor that had the, is it a 12 or a 10-inch screen in the dash?
Yeah.
It's big. It's bigger anyway, so it must be better. Carpet floors. I'm just looking what else jumps out differently. The Wildtrak runs in 2-wheel drive, and then you can select 4A, 4 high, 4 low. Correct. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. All right, so I'll just jump in there then and say for Rocky, he's in 4A all the time, and then we can go 4 high or 4 low. There is no 2-wheel drive version of the Super Duty at the time of making this video. Oh, by the way, Happy New Year's everybody. It's January 1, 2026. All right, what else have we got in here just quickly? Nothing else is jumping out as super special. You got another switch down there on the dash, I see, Cole, down near your knee.
So that's for the spotlights things. I didn't get the premium pack with the overhead switches. So.
Oh, okay then. Now let's see if I can get the camera to look up there for us. So that's up there near where the overhead lights are. There's no switches in this particular model of the Wildtrak. So that was an option?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. I think, now if I recall correctly, I think that's had to be done at the factory option.
Yeah, that's had to be on order. Yep.
Yep, it wasn't done at the deal.
There is an aftermarket version you can get, but it is different.
Okay then. Cup holders, I've seen people in various groups that I was in, and they seem to be doing, I'm doing the cup holder install. So I'm guessing they weren't in, I don't know where they came in. Do you know if they happened to be in the Sport?
I'm not too sure. I don't think they were.
Okay, so potentially, and hey, pop in the comments if we get it wrong. Maybe these cup holders were a Wildtrak and, what have we got, platinum type of a thing. I'm happy to say they've got them in the Super Duty, and what we found on our first decent drive in 42-degree temperature, Connie would put her cool cup in the cup holder there, and with the lovely cool 22, 23 degree air coming through the aircon, kept the drink just so comfortable to drink. It was very, very good. Right, I'm going to have a quick look in the back if that's all good.
Sure.
All right. So this one, dual cab, obviously. Enough room to put some small people in there. Cole's nearly average height, he's about 6'2". Average height is 6'5", and I say that with a smile because I know there's plenty of people that are shorter than that. Anyway, so again, you can see the pretty orange stripe stitching in the doors, in the headrests. He's got a bit of a bag here hanging off the seats, etc. to throw his gear, because he doesn't have to worry about rug rats. All right, again, carpeted floor. Now, on this side under the seat, there's a storage box.
Oh, very, very small.
A small one. And then on the other side, it's got the box for the jack.
Yeah, the jack and the handles and everything.
Yep, okay, that's the same on Rocky as well.
Not real practical though, because as soon as you've got something on the seat, it just makes it very difficult to lift up.
That's right, you've got to take everything out to get to the down stuff.
That's right.
Yep. All right. Roller shutter on these. I see they come in, you can get them with a black roller shutter now.
Yeah, that is a new thing. Yeah.
Yep. I'll tell you what, some people have already made the comment, damn, that must be hot in there. And I have to agree, without putting a thermometer under each one, I would have to say that while the black looks cool, damn, it's got to be hot for anything that's in the tray.
You'd think so, yeah.
Mind you, it's still hot enough for anything underneath the aluminium finish in the tray.
Yep.
I noticed that a lot with Audrey, just the black walls or the black wall and then the not black wall, and you just, the difference in temperature, it really is quite noticeable. All right, let's have a quick look inside Rocky then. All right, no pretty orange striping, no leather, no carpet, so vinyl floor. People ask me, oh, what's the Super Duty? Tell me about the Super Duty. And I say for the interior, in broad strokes, you can take a little bit of interior out of every model of the Ranger from the XL all the way to the Wildtrak and blend it in, and then do a couple of special things for Super Duty, and that's a Super Duty interior. Like we've got the vinyl floor of an XL, yet we've got the 12-inch screen in the center from a Wildtrak. Same with the 8-inch display, which I think is even in an XLT and above. Something that we did with Rocky here is we got the console mount in the center. You see there's a USB cable in there. So there's USB-C and a normal USB. There's 4 holes in there that you're meant to be able to mount things with. I wanted to mount something here the other day. And guess what? The holes have got no thread in them, because I went, oh, I wonder what thread it is so I can get a suitable size screw or bolt. There is no thread.
Yeah, that's handy.
So I'm going to check that with Ford, because potentially it's, oh, you make your own thread. Anyway, we'll confirm that in a later video. You can see here that we've got a mount hanging off to the side here for the tablet, and on the side of that is where we have our UHF handpiece. I'll go around the other side to show you what that's all hooked up to. No extra switches, no modifications done. Oh, look at that. We have got stripe.
White stitching, grey stitching.
We've got a light grey stitch stripe in the doors where you had the pretty orange, where there's nothing in the dash, because you've got like some leather trim on the dash in the Wildtrak, and Rocky's just all plastic. And that's fine. For what we bought Rocky for, we weren't looking for pretty. Anyway, love this. Suicide doors. I've got to get in here and say, when the next gen first came out, back in roughly the middle of 22, I went, oh, you beauty. I would gladly get into one of these at the time, because I wanted to get a super cab. And then, because the V6 diesel was released with it, and I'm like, how great's this going to be for towing and touring and travelling? Guess what? No V6 diesel in the super cab. It was like, mega deflation. So, didn't happen. Then when the Super Duty came out, and I started reading about it, and I could get my super cab with the V6 diesel. Yes, it's got less horsepower. We'll talk about that later. Hey, here we are. So you can see in the back, I've started the rear seat delete by deleting the rear seat. We've got a couple of modifications going on here that's going to fit it out for Connie and I for our travels. The Super Duty does have the overhead switches for the accessories. That's standard across the range. Another awesome thing I think it came out in the PX3 Ranger, was the USB power outlet next to the rear view mirror. And they've carried it on, and we've got our dash cam plugged into it. That's a very, very handy little item. So interior wise, no carpet, no pretty orange stripe, no leather. Mostly the Wildtrak and the Super Duty are very, very similar.
Yeah, you look at the dash, it's, apart from the badging, it's all the same, isn't it?
Yeah, we'd have the same steering wheel. And we're going to shoot around the other side now, because I know there's something there that I do want to show you. You'll see that we've got the integrated device mounting system bar there. It's got a bit of blue cable wrapped around it and a USB cable as well. We got that option so we could then put our mount for the tablet, and then that gave me a position to mount our UHF handpiece, so driver or passenger both can get at it nice and easily. Same with the tablet, you can just loosen it off a bit, swivel it around to do what you want. We use that tablet for all our off-road and for our touring navigation and for recording all the routes that we do take. That way we can sit back when we're old and much greyer. Maybe I won't have any hair then. And so we can look at what we got up to. Again, you can see up here, dash cam mounted up high out of the way of the driver. And it's not too bad for a tallish passenger either. Plenty of storage space in the doors. And again, how cool is this? There's that cup holder that had the big Yeti bottle in it to help keep it cool, which was great. I saw somebody post not so long ago that they had their Ranger for many thousands of kilometres, never knew about the upper glove box. And I think it's a really handy thing. We've got a couple of quick and handy first aid things, just like some headache pills, tissues, hand wipes, that sort of thing, so they're just quick and easy to grab hold of. Let's just keep the glove box a little less cluttered so that we've got our bookwork in there and then our tyre deflators and a couple of things like that. So we have the under seat storage there as well. So the box on this side has the jack and handles, etc. under it. There's a box over the other side. It's not even big enough for us to put our emergency jump starter in its case in there. If we disassembled the case, we'd be fine. That just means crap goes everywhere, so it's actually empty at the moment. So thanks, Cole, for letting us have a look around your Wildtrak and showing us what you've done to it. And being able to compare it to Rocky here is fairly standard. Hey, we've owned Rocky for all of 2 weeks and 2 days, and we've done very little to him, yet he's started the process of being set up for us. And just comparing it to your truck that you've had since, what, October 24, yeah, November 24 or so you've got it? A little
bit over 12 months now, yeah. Yep.
And so how many Ks on your ute now?
Just coming up to 30,000.
All right, and in that 30,000 Ks, any issues that you've had to go to Ford and say, hey, X is giving me grief or causing a problem?
Yeah, only a couple of little things right from the get-go. Just a couple of annoying things. The keep your hands on the steering wheel alarm goes off all the time.
And does it still do that?
Still does that. So it's been back to Ford twice now to get updates to supposedly fix it.
Okay.
Still doing it. My recent trip to Sydney and back, it was doing it constantly.
Oh gosh.
Or regularly, not more like it. The other issue was the fatigue alert, especially if you notice more towing than anything else. You'd only be 5 minutes down the road and it'd be suggesting you needed a fatigue break.
Oh, okay.
And then 10 minutes later it'd be telling you need to stop.
All right, so I'll ask you this. Do you leave the lane keeping assist technology or whatever they call it turned on?
Normal driving I do. When I'm towing I turn it off, but that doesn't make any difference.
Makes no then? Because
I have noticed though in recent weeks it's stopped doing it.
Okay.
So whether there was a remote update, I don't know, but yeah, I haven't had an issue with it in the last few weeks.
Okay. Because I've got to say, I personally don't enjoy the lane keeping assist, and I typically drive less than a kilometre and I remember to turn the thing off because I don't know, you go near a white line somewhere, and the next thing you get the little shutter through the where's double tap the button and thank you, do the rest of however far we're driving, whip it off. It's something that you can't, correct me if I'm wrong, you can't turn it off permanently unless you do something with force scan.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and I'm not going to do anything with force scan because if anything happened to Rocky, Connie'd kill me.
Yeah.
Especially if that turn and said, no, you messed with it, no warranty, and be like, okay, so we leave it alone. So I just double tap the button and away we go. Any other things in that 30,000 Ks?
The other thing, disappointing the tyres. A big selling point with the Wildtrak was the Wrangler all-terrain tyres.
Right.
But yeah, very quickly discovered they were absolutely a rubbish tyre.
Well, you did cop a flat with us on some relatively tame dirt road. 2,000
kilometres on the clock was the first flat tyre. Yeah. And then found out it's a Wrangler that is not imported into Australia. You can't go to a tyre shop and buy that brand or that type of Wrangler tyre.
Okay.
They're not suitable for Australian conditions. So a number of the tyre shops I went to in that period chasing new tyres, they all said the same thing. They're a rubbish tyre, get rid of them. So,
all right, so it wasn't like you just talked to one person in a dumb-faced group and said, oh, they're rubbish tyres, and took it as gospel. It's you actually get independent information from some tyre dealers.
Yep. So okay. Yeah, went to 3 different tyre shops and they all said the same thing. So,
all right. Yeah. Well, that's disappointing. You know, that is disappointing because like you spend, and I'm going to use ballpark figures, right? You spend your 82 grand roughly to put a Wildtrak on the road a bit over 12 months ago in this sort of standard trend before you then go and do all your bits and pieces that you've done. And yeah, to have a tyre that has earned a real reputation as being a poor tyre, just not up to the task of what you'd like to do with your vehicle, just in everyday driving, let alone going and having, hey, imagine if we'd gone out and actually stuck it in low to have some real fun and things started happening. It could have turned into a bad day real quick.
Yeah, that's right. And in Ford's defence, it's not just Ford. The tyre shops are saying Isuzu's the same.
Okay.
The tyres they come with are also substandard.
Yes.
So quite often new car sales, part of the deal is to go and put new tyres on them straight up.
Okay.
So, it's not just a Ford thing.
All right, well, okay, I'll compare your tyres. You've now stepped up to the Falcon AT3Ws.
Correct.
I know that you had them on your previous vehicle. I know that we had them on Eddie the Everest back when we met, or back in that time frame. And I remember talking to you about them and giving you my feedback from my experiences, and I found them to be a good tyre. And so you put them on your previous car, then now they've landed up here on your new ute. On Rocky, he comes with a General Grabber 33-inch all-terrain tyre. Now, personally, I've never thought much of the brand General, so it's going to be, we'll just see how they go. I'm going to rotate them through to wear them out to the point that they are either too low to go where we want to go, or we have a first bit of trouble with them, and then all 5 will go. Actually, I'll put it out to you. Anyone out there that's got a Super Duty looking to get rid of your standard wheels, give me a yell because I want to get hold of another standard wheel, please. I've got a big trip planned for later this year, and if I can get another standard wheel and tyre, that'll give me my 2 spares that I need, and then I can wear out all 6, and then I'll be buying 6 Falcon AT4Ws, which came out only in the last few months. Getting rave reviews. Apparently they've been testing them in Australia for quite a while. Okay. And they've been working very, very well. And the AT3W, as I said, for me, they set a really good benchmark. So you'd like to think that the 4Ws are going to be even better again.
Yeah.
I will give these tyres credit though. We've driven in all sorts of conditions in the first 2 weeks of ownership. Rough road, dirt road, corrugated, smooth highway, round town. The only thing we didn't do was 4-wheel driving. So everything that we've done, the tyres haven't skipped or slipped or done something that made you go, oh, grabbed your attention. That's even, wet weather as well. So at the moment, I've got to give them credit for being half decent so far. Let's see what they go like for wear, noise, because we haven't got all the padding on the back wall of Rocky there. it's noisier inside there, and I can't say that's because of the tyres, it's just noisier because we don't have the padding. So it's easier to hear the tyres, it's easier to hear the little stones getting flicked up and hitting underneath the tray, especially on the 4K drive in and out of here on the dirt. You just drive along, tink, 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 tink the whole way. It's like, that's something for us to work out. It'll be interesting to see how these tyres go for us. As I say, I will be changing to the Falcons in the future when it's time. Towing. How are you finding towing?
It's magic to tow. It really has been designed to be a great tow vehicle. The cameras on the back to get you hitched up, awesome. The features with the tow haul mode, if you know how to use it, take the time to learn how to use tow haul mode. Saving your trailer profiles, you've got the option to save a number of different trailers, different sizes, weights, everything else.
That's great, that feature, isn't it?
Set it up, you can have different brake settings for any trailer you tow, and then go into tow mode, select your trailer type. It's magic.
Because how heavy is max, roughly, when you're towing?
I'm running around 2.7, 2.8 tonne.
Okay, so they're allowed a 3.5 tow. All up, your GCM is, isn't it 6.2 or something like that?
It'd have to be around that. Yeah, so you've got a basic,
correct us if we're wrong, please,
900 kilo payload on the vehicle.
Yeah, and it's allowed to be, I'm sure they're allowed to be 3200 GVM. So that would make the ute about 2300 roll off the factory floor with a full tank of fuel.
Yep.
Now you've got a bull bar spotlight, so that's going to put 80-ish kilo on the front.
Yep.
Your rack on top's probably another 10 to 15 kilo.
Yep.
The weight would include the tow. So you've added that, let's call it 100 kilos roughly of weight.
Yep, roughly.
So that's going to take you up to about 2400. Then you're going to put, I was going to be a cheeky bugger and say, put your fat lard ass in there.
Yeah.
He's only lightweight. Even so, I always allow 100 kilos for a person and some personal gear. So there's another 100 kilos to pop in there. So what do we get up to, about 2500-ish kilos now?
Yep.
Somewhere near there. That's worth a full load of fuel. And then you put Max, your trailer, on there. He runs what, 250, 300 on the ball weight?
Yeah, around the 270. I try to keep it around.
Then.
Yeah.
Yep. You put him on there, and yeah, you're starting to make a really good headway towards your GVM for sure.
Yeah, still got 200, 300 kilos to play with there for cargo.
Yep, that's great. That's a nice, to me, that's a nice comfortable level to be. Like, to go, hey, yeah, we're somewhere in this ballpark of 200 to 300 kilos up our sleeve. If you ever get pulled over and scaled, you're going to go, not worried. Yeah,
it's fine. Towing's fine. I do got to be more careful actually not towing, because the downside with the Ranger is very little weight can go on the front axle.
Yes. Now, I think you and I spoke about this when we did a trip earlier this year. Oh, pardon me, it's 2026, earlier last year. And we were talking about axle weights, because I was umming and ahhing about where I was going to buy like this style of a Ranger, or I was going to go Super Duty. And we'd seen a video where you take like a Wildtrak or a Sport, one of those types of models, put like your ARB bull bar on like you've got, and put a winch on there. A winch is about 30 kilos, give or take a bit. A bull bar sort of that 70 to 80 kilos, give or take a bit, with spotlights especially. When you started loading those on, you could put a driver in there, and I think, if I remember correctly, when a driver hops in these things, it's 45% of the weight goes on the front and 55 on the back, or the other way around. I did read it in some doco, so it's 45, 55 goes one way or the other with that 100 kilos a person and gear, and all of a sudden you run out of front axle load to even be able to take a passenger.
That's it, yeah, and especially so the ARB bar, on its own, if I was to add a winch to that, I would be overloaded on the front axle straight up without the GVM.
Until you start putting gear in the back to
correct, yeah,
cantilever it back.
Yeah, with the caravan on the back, you're good for a couple 100 kilos on the front axle, additional.
Yeah, unfortunately, we go somewhere, we drop off the camper trailer caravan, and then we go stick it in low and go and have some fun, all going well.
Yep.
And yeah, that starts causing issues. You've got to carry gear in the back of the ute to have you legal?
Offset it, that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
in the way it is now, I cannot legally have a winch added to that bar.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
And that was something that worried me when we were umming and ahhing between the Super Duty and I think we were looking at either an XLT or a Sport for ourselves. And yeah, it was just something that went, 200 kilos for a couple of people in the front, and Connie said to me, if we get a new four-wheel drive, it has to have a winch. And I'm like, okay, that means we have to have a bull bar, which all that weight up front, we were going to have to carry a fair bit on back, even before we hook up Audrey, our camper trailer. All right, well, let's go and have a look under the bonnets and do a quick comparison of what these two utes look like. Very quickly, I've only towed less than 300 kilometres so far with Rocky, and that's towing about 2.3 tonne. And initial impressions, very, very happy. Does it easily. No, I'm not on the highway and overtaking people and getting back in. It's like, you know what, I know that it doesn't have the power to do that, so I'm happy to just follow along. And if I really get sick of it, I'll pull over, get out, stretch my legs and wait 5 minutes for them to bugger off. And then I'll get back in and off we drive again. All right, looking at the Wildtrak first under the bonnet here. See that it's got the air intake underneath the front edge of the bonnet. 3 litre V6 diesel, 600 Newton metres, somewhere around the 1750 to 2250 RPM range, 184 kilowatts around that 3250-ish area. All right, I don't know how hard you should rev these things. Maybe you can rev them to 4.5, 5 grand. Why would you? No point. Right. They're just going to be running out of puff up there, as every diesel does, once you get past that power point. All right, on top of the battery, you can see some pretty red things over the other side. There's some extra fuses that are all tied up with helping to power up the extra Anderson just there. And you'll see some cabling coming out of here. All right, some of that is going to be tied up with going to the Anderson at the back of the car. The bracket that's all mounted on is from the Pirate
Company, Ipswich. Yeah.
Pirate Company, oh, in Ipswich, okay, well, there you go. Not even that far from where we're all based. Okay, I can see a small difference here that I'll show on Rocky. You'll see over just there is some sort of computer box. I don't know what it is. I don't proclaim to know everything about these things. And then just back here, you can see the relay. I know that relay is for the thermofans. All right, everything else under here is all garden variety, not modified. The pickup for the spotlights comes from the in behind the left-hand kick panel inside under the dash. Right, let's duck over to Rocky here and have a look at him now. Okay, Rocky's clean because he's got 2,800 kilometres. The Wildtrak's dirty, he's got 30,000. So there you go. And I know there's been plenty of dirt in that 30,000 because Cole's been camping with us quite a few times. All right, you see there's nothing done to the battery. It doesn't have all the extra bits and pieces, etc. on top. What it does have is down here. We had the accessory switches up near the overhead lights. That's where the relays and fuses are for that. And the tail for the spotlights is right here. All right, there's another 3 tails just behind. And then there's another 2 tails down on the left-hand side of the chassis at the back, on the inside towards the spare wheel. All right, now what else did I notice over there? That's right, we're talking about electronics boxes, etc. on the radiator. So what they've done here, they've changed the location of the electronics box here, changed the orientation, more wiring, more plastic, holding whatever it's holding, and then the relay is up above. Now, apparently I've heard that they can melt the relays in the standard location, like where it is on the Wildtrak, and they made a change to move it to where it is now. Whether that works or not, I don't know. I don't know what that electronics box is that they have mounted on top of the radiator. Like, let's face it, that's about the 2nd or 3rd hottest place under the bonnet that I can think of to mount something, let alone electronics.
Yeah.
All right. Other than that though, under the bonnet is nearly the same. Unless you can see anything, Cole, that jumps out at you as being different, seeing you've had one of these for quite a while longer.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same. A lot of the wiring, the looms, all the bolting points and everything, all very similar, if not the same. So very, very minimal difference.
Okay, 3 litre V6 single turbo, same as over in the Wildtrak. Here's the differences. Makes 154 kilowatts at 3250 RPM-ish. Still makes the 600 Newton meters in that 1750 to 2250 area. All right, so towing, tows really well. I haven't towed 4.5 tonne, and nor do I ever anticipate towing 4.5 tonne. Under the bonnet, they're very, very similar.
Yeah.
Different power. Wiring wise, the big difference to me is that, hey, Rocky's got the standard accessory relays and fuses ready to go for 6 circuits spread throughout. They've got that one just there right on top of the radiator for spotlights. There's another 3 tails just in behind. One of those, I believe, is also dedicated for like a high beam operated light, be it a light bar or more spotlights. That's 2 of the switches up above. So that then leaves 2 normal switches to do what you want with the tails there. Then there's the 2 at the back. Again, that was an option to have built at the factory for any other model of Ranger that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it makes it a really easy way of adding any auxiliaries you like, especially if you like to have all the switches inside the cab to control them.
Yes.
Whether it's to do with auxiliary lighting or things in your tray.
Yep.
Having that wiring there, the relays, everything there, the fusing there, it just makes it so much easier to add accessories afterwards.
I did read that they only work when the car's running.
Yeah, that would sound about right, yeah.
And to me, that's a smart thing to do. Hey, cars these days are full of computers. Looking after that battery there is crucial.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to bring out the jump starter because let's say you have a fridge running and you run it off the main battery. It's going to get to a point that the main battery is not going to fire the glow, and you're in cold temperature, say, glow plugs are not going to fire off because I believe they pull quite a lot of current when they first operate.
Yep.
So you're going to be hoping for someone to give you a jump start, or that your jump box is all charged up.
Yeah. And that's probably a point to mention as well, that there is room from factory to have an auxiliary battery under the bonnet.
There is. It's over on the driver's side, back there behind the airbox and underneath the washer bottle filler.
And you got room there to mount the DC-DC charger as well under the bonnet.
Yeah, right on top of the battery. They actually use a BM Pro, is the Ford licensed accessory.
Yep.
Yes.
So yeah, if that's what you want, I chose not to have that option, or to go down that path purely to keep the weight down.
Again, all that weight's up over the front axle.
That's right. So I've gone for a second battery, portable battery that I can put in the tub, and I've got the Anderson plug there.
Yep.
The DC-DC charger and that as well, which when I'm using the van, I typically don't need it, so I remove it.
Yep.
So
Fair enough. So overall, Cole, this is your first chance to have a look at a Super Duty. And I'm not saying, oh, would you buy this over that? Because, hey, everybody has a different taste, thank goodness. Otherwise, we'd all be driving, I don't know, pink and purple polka dot pieces of crap, all right? And thankfully we don't. So we're happy with this, you're happy with that.
yeah, but I think if I was looking for a replacement vehicle in the near future, I'd definitely Super Duty ticks all the boxes with, what you get standard for the additional cost. It's cost effective.
Yeah, well, that's ballpark figure 82 grand unmodified on the road. Ballpark figure 100 grand with a tray unmodified. Like literally our invoice was just not even $200 over 100 grand, and that included the IDMS, the console mount. They were the only 2 options that we paid for. Yeah, 100 grand, 82 grand, so you go, 18 grand. It is a big chunk of change.
Yeah.
And then you start looking at just the basics of this vehicle though. Like we're running a 33 standard, what do we weigh? About just under 33 now, 32 and a half or so-ish.
Yep.
Set of tyres, what did a set of Wild Peaks cost?
To get all 5 replaced, with the specials that they seem to have all the time on the Wild Peaks, it was around the $1,500 for the 5.
All right. Suspension lift?
Suspension with the bull bar recovery points. That was a little bit over 11 to have the whole lot done.
I'm going to round that off to 13 as just a gentle number. So straight away we're looking about 95-ish.
Yep.
As a round number.
Yep. And then you got the wiring then for auxiliary, the Anderson plug in the tub, Anderson plug on the tow bar.
Well, I've got to do that, so they're much it's like what you've had to do there, I'll have to do here. All right. So just basic differences between the 2 vehicles though.
Yep. But then
it's 15-ish grand roughly
Roughly.
to give you the height that is closing in on what Rocky has here.
Yeah, but then you look at what you get standard though. Like you've got the snorkel standard.
Yes. They're like $1,500 or something fitted, aren't they, for a safari onto something like yours?
Then you've got the strengthened drivetrain.
Yeah.
Then you've got that 4.5 ton towing if you want it.
Yes.
So yeah, you got a lot of extras on the Super Duty, which it makes it worth that additional expense, I believe. So
all the bash plates that this thing has.
Yeah.
Yours, I've never looked at. I'm guessing they're going to be like Eddie had, pieces of pressed tin, or do you think
they're a little bit more substantial than that?
Oh, excellent.
I mean, I wouldn't be jacking the car up off them like you can supposedly do in a Super Duty, but it is half decent protection.
Yep.
You get that with the Wildtrak and I think the Tremor possibly.
Okay.
Um,
These things come twin locked. A locker, if you decided you needed a locker in the front, is a couple of grand probably for an e-locker or even an air locker. I imagine ARB, they love their air lockers. I imagine they do an air locker for the front of the next gen.
Yeah.
Even so, it's going to be a couple of grand. There's a lot of work. You've got to pull the diff out, to pull it all apart, to put all the bits in, to put it all back together, shove it all back in.
That's right.
So you're probably spending nearly as much on labour as for bits. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not something I ever really priced up in the Everest.
No, you got the strength.
I got into enough trouble with just the rear lock. I didn't need a front locker to get me further in trouble.
Yeah. You got the strength and rear diff as well, the 9-inch diff.
Well, you start. It's actually a 9 3/4-inch diff.
Okay.
It's the rear housing is out of a transit truck, and then they upgraded the axles, and then they actually upgraded the centre components to make it tougher. The front diff in this is out of a Bronco Raptor in the US, and again, they upgraded the components to make it even tougher. Upgraded half shafts in front, F250 front hubs. That's part of the Super Duty 8-stud package that happens. It's got bigger, heavier drive shafts. I think, now I could be wrong here, I think it actually has a one-piece drive shaft from the transfer case to the rear diff. Okay. And yours may or may not, I don't know, have a centre bearing. It's got a totally different transfer case in the Super Duty. They didn't even say what it came out of. It's almost maybe they designed it for the Super Duty, I don't know. It's much bigger and tougher than what's in a normal Ranger or Everest. So these things, like, to get the Super Duty name, Ford had to jump over hoops and crawl under low bars and tick all these boxes and dot all these I's and cross all these T's for Ford USA to say, yes, you can put Super Duty on the bonnet and on the tailgate. And please, if I'm wrong here, I'm pretty sure that this is the only vehicle that's not manufactured in USA by Ford that's got Super Duty on it. Now, if there's others out there, tell me please, because hey, I'm always keen to learn something new. And if we go over this way, Cole, just a little bit, take about 5 steps sideways and stop there, they might even be able to see Audrey hiding in the background there now. And like, she's only light, she's only 2.3 fully loaded up, which we know is way under what Rocky can tow. It's just with all our bits and pieces and whatnot, we're never ever going to have an issue with GVM, GCM, anything's to do with weights. And I like to think that extra ground clearance, extra stance, you know, it's, 90 mil wider in the Wildtrak. We're going to be having a wild time in this vehicle. Looking forward to finally getting to stick him in low and going and having a go. It's just not going to happen for a little while. We've got a couple of other things we need to do to him first to get him ready. And then, watch this space. Hey, Cole, thanks again for letting us have a good look around your Wildtrak and just sharing what you've learnt over the last year or so of ownership and telling us about the issues that you had and what's happened and how the old hold the steering wheel thing is still giving you a little grief. Maybe Ford's going to make things better. We just got to wait and see.
Hopefully they're working on it.
Hopefully there's enough people bitching about it that they'll go, damn, we've still got the sensitivity, or however they're doing it wrong, and when they need to tweak the number from a 1 to a 3 or something. I don't know.
Yep.
And no, great to be able to look at the two cars side by side. And it's definitely helped me understand the Wildtrak a bit better and being able to compare it to the Super Duty here. Thanks a lot, man.
No
Catch you
worries.
around.
Thank you. Cheers.